Dr. Roberts, how do you explain this to people? Because you call it jackboot thugism. We're talking about the system, aren't we? We're not saying every cop is a jackbooter. I mean, can you answer his question? Because he says he sends cops to the show, and then it turns them off when I'm talking about that.
Right. You know, tyranny turns normal people into thugs. That's what it does. It gives orders, and then you either follow them or you're out of a job. Or they turn on you, and you become the victim. So that's the problem for decent people who serve the state. When it turns toward tyranny, and as you know, and have pointed out so well, it doesn't happen all at once. It goes step by step. But as you turn to tyranny, it destroys the character of people, because they have to serve it or go down.
It's a slow seduction.
It's a slow seduction. Many people won't see it, or won't see it until very late. Others will fool themselves. Others will say, well, to have a good opinion of what I'm doing, I have to believe the propaganda that these people we are brutalizing really are enemies. They really are terrorists. The demonstrators are unpatriotic and anti-American. And so a lot of people just have to believe that. They come to terms with propaganda in order to continue in the job. You know, this happens wherever there's tyranny.
You had hoped that Barack Obama, Dr. Roberts, would do some of the things he said 8-9 months ago. Now we're calling him Neocon Obama, who he's appointing, what he's doing, what he's saying. The carbon tax alone will destroy the country. Record gun sales, though.
Well, he had to be elected because the Republicans, it's the only way to hold the Republicans accountable. I mean, we can't simply let the Republicans escape accountability for their crimes against the Constitution and human rights, for their violations of U.S. and international laws, for their lies and deceptions and all their financial crookedness. We can't just reelect them and say, well, we forgive you for all those crimes and concentration camps and police state and all the rest. So he had to be elected because it's the only way the people can hold the Republicans accountable.
But the establishment...
And that's the only reason I ever supported the Democrats or Obama. It's Pravda put it after the election. An editorial in Pravda, the Russian newspaper, the old Soviet newspaper. Here's what they said. Only Satan would have been worse than the Bush regime. Therefore, it could be argued that the new administration in the USA could never be worse than the one which divorced the hearts and minds of Americans from their brothers in the international community, which appalled the rest of the world with shock and awe tactics that included concentration camps, torture, mass murder, and utter disrespect for international law. Well, if we didn't hold the Republicans accountable for that, what would the world think of us?
No, I understand, but now Obama has shown that he's going to kick it into high gear.
Well, I'm not surprised. You can't, Obama is a showman, and his victory speech was magnificent, and the cameras panning all the, scanning the faces and the audience. You could see the hope and the belief in people's faces that propelled him to the presidency. But he can't bring change to Washington. Who can he appoint? There's nobody in the Washington crowd capable of bringing change. It's the same crowd. We'll have all the Clinton retreads will be there. The people who bombed Serbia and committed war crimes in Serbia. Robert Rubin, the Clinton Secretary of the Treasury, who got Glass-Steagall repealed and is responsible as much as anybody for the current financial crisis.
Yes.
Holbrooke, Dennis Ross. These are all the criminals of the Clinton administration. They'll now simply be recycled in the government. And even if Obama knew anyone capable of helping him bring change, he wouldn't be able to get them confirmed by the Senate.
Well, his $2 billion,
the powerful interest groups would go in and block the appointment. So Washington, the only way you'll ever get change in Washington is a revolution. I think what's going to bring change is not the election of Obama. It's the fact that the United States has run out of money and run out of credibility.
Yep.
And has annoyed the world, and the world is organizing against us. We see the statements out of China, out of Russia, out of India, out of Brazil, out of Venezuela, out of Germany even, that they want a different kind of international community in which America isn't the ruler, it's just a member of the community.
All right, we're going to be right back, Dr. Roberts. We're going to be right back. We got 2 more segments with you today. And when we get back, I want to talk about Obama and some of the new policies he's pushing, because it's bad. But, John, now let's skip this break.
Okay.
Dr. Roberts?
He's there.
Dr. Roberts, for the internet audience, we're not on AM and FM. I want to keep talking here. So we're still on the radio. Yeah, look, I'm not attacking you saying, oh, you were saying maybe Obama's good. I mean, obviously,
no, I know that.
I mean, obviously, we couldn't, on paper, say, well, let's just go for John McCain because worldwide that would have been seen as a national endorsement of the neocons. But now they're bringing in the slicker neocons. I mean, people who are literally from the very, very same crowd. I mean, his new chief of staff alone is just an absolute nightmare. And so we have all of that going on. And then you talk about credibility. If McCain would have come in internationally and nationally, he would have had no credibility. And so now that he's in there, he has been able to... Yeah, exactly. He has been able to mesmerize, get more credibility internationally. And now he's saying, okay, we got some big event coming up, the 21st, 22nd. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get tough on Iran and Russia. Okay, we're going to do all these things. Okay, I'm going to appoint a bunch of Israelis and other people to my cabinet.
Right. Right. But they're not going to be able to get tough because they ain't got any money. And they got a bad recession. I mean, it's really going to be bad. So, what's this about guns? Israel Emanuel wants to take our guns already, huh?
Well, you know, he was the guy that got the assault weapons ban passed in '94, and he spearheaded NAFTA. And, yeah, all over the news, the Handgun Control Inc. and others are saying, yes, we're going to push for, quote, sensible gun control. And sensible to them is banning all sorts of rifles, more registration, just a whole new raft of gun grabbing. And so now national gun sales have broken their all-time records, according to the New York Times.
It doesn't surprise me.
I mean, there are people in the New York Times saying, if I can pull the article up if you like, saying, you know, he wants a youth brigade. He wants a domestic Stasi. And then I went to change.gov, his new transition website, and it's in there. They say environmental brigades, brigades in the schools. It says turning the kids into, I mean, I can read it to you right now. His national service. We're going to have domestic spy forces, environmental enforcers. We're going to bankrupt the coal industry. We're going to have plastic bag taxes. I mean, they're coming.
Well, all that may be disappointed. I mean, you know, they've got their crazy groups just like we do. But at the moment, they got 2 wars, maybe 2 more, because they keep blowing up things in Pakistan, and now they've crossed Syria's border, and they're still going on about Iran and Georgia. They got no money. They got to either print it or borrow it. Nobody's going to lend it to them. got the highest unemployment in a long, long time, and it's not even measured accurately. Really, the unemployment rate now is, I would say it's at least 15%, measured the way we measured it during the Reagan years. You see, Clinton stopped counting discouraged workers as unemployed.
All right, we're coming back to the full audience. Let's talk about that right now. Here we go.
All right.